David Menzies for Rebel News here in Richmond Hill, Ontario. And these are the flags in your neighborhood, to paraphrase the Mr. Rogers song. They got the red part right, but you might notice the yellow stars. That is the flag of Communist China, proudly flying in our great dominion. And the question is, why? I mean, right now I'm kind of used to that multicolored monstrosity that is the pride flag eclipsing the Canadian flag, but this is something else. I suppose if it's your private property, you can fly any sort of flag. Well, I know there's limitations on the flags of terrorist groups, but hey, let's face it, whether it's the Tiger Tamils, whether it is flags for Islamic militants in the Middle East, the government and law enforcement turns a blind eye to that diversity, I suppose. But why in the world would you fly the flag of Communist China, especially now with all the allegations of Chinese election interference, Chinese police stations operating in our great dominion? And then, of course, there's the human rights abuses, there is the Uyghur genocide, there is the intellectual property theft. It just is a cascading mass of outrage. And let's face it, I'm not against the people of China. They're the biggest victims of the Chinese government. The vast majority of Chinese people I have met and have come to know as friends and colleagues, well, they came to Canada to get away from that kind of oppression. So why would someone fly the flag of China here? Of course, then again, a few years ago, you might recall, Premier Doug Ford thought it was okay to fly the flag of Communist China at Queen's Park while he boarded up the statue of Sir John A. Macdonald until an outrage at least brought the flag down. Sir John A., as we head into Dominion Day 2023, he's still firmly boarded up and probably will be for years to come. But in any event, maybe we should pay a house call and ask the folks here why it is that they have the flag of China flying from their property. It's baffling. Sometimes I just don't recognize this country. The Canadian flag being replaced by a flag proclaiming, I don't know, solidarity to sexual orientation and gender identification, not for a day, a week, a month, but for an entire season. That seems to be okay, both with government offices and an increasing number of businesses. And flags, Canadian flags that is, being flown by Freedom Convoy demonstrators, that's considered by some in Ottawa to be a hate symbol. And yet here we have the cherry on this sordid Sunday, the flag of Communist China and all the baggage that goes with it, proudly being displayed in a sleepy suburban enclave just north of the city of Toronto. But you know what? I'm sure Blackface is not offended. I'm sure he approves. Remember what he said 10 years ago regarding his admiration of this dictatorship? Check it out.
The level of admiration I actually have for China, because their basic dictatorship is allowing them to actually turn their economy around on a dime.
Yeah, so in Justin Trudeau's Canada, this isn't offensive. This is affirmation of a regime that blackface actually admires. Unbelievable. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Hey folks, I know you depend on Rebel News to bring you the other side of the story. The mainstream media would never cover something like this. They kind of like China too for some reason, but we need your help. If you can kindly go to rebelfieldreports.com, that's rebelfieldreports.com, and make a donation, that would be greatly appreciated.